The Things I Think! Hello, fellow thinkers, and welcome to The Things I Think. Today's topic is the myths on asexuals. Let's start with the most common and the most untrue one ever. Asexuals don't exist. Well, they do. So yeah, asexual is the same thing as celibacy. That would be false information. Asexuality describes someone's sexual orientation. That is, they are not sexually attracted to anyone. And celibacy describes someone's sexual behavior. That is, they do not have sex with anyone. Orientation is not behavior, and attraction is not action. Therefore, celibacy and asexual sexuality is not linked at all. However, it is possible for an asexual person to not be having sex, and therefore they would be being celibate. Just as it's possible for an asexual person to have sex and not be celibate. Moving on to the next myth. Asexuality is a choice. Asexuality is a sexuality, and a sexuality is not a choice, whether you're heterosexual, bisexual, homosexual, transsexual, whatever you are. What you're attracted to is not under your control. Asexual people did not wake up one morning and decided to say, hey, I'm really tired of being turned on by people. I think I'm just going to be asexual and not have any sexual feelings towards anyone. It's just always how they've been. Another myth is that asexuals cannot fall in love, which is totally false because I know someone who's asexual and they've been with their girlfriend for quite a long time. Asexuals can feel any range of love and romance, from a little crush to, oh my god, I love you. They just don't want to sleep with them. Well, hello, hair. Asexuals are not limited to platonic love either. They can love with all of their heart. They just don't want to spread their legs open or pull their pants down. And them not wanting to have sex does not mean that it's not every bit as deep and every bit as complex as someone who's not asexual. Apparently there's this concept of romantic or affectional orientation, which is completely different than sexual orientation. Romantic orientation is who you can fall in love with. Sexual orientation is who you want to get into bed with. And asexuals don't want to get into bed with anyone. Therefore, they only have romantic orientation when it comes to being with other people because they don't want to sleep with them. But for mostly everyone else, romantic orientation and sexual orientation go hand in hand. Common romantic orientations are heteroromantic and homoromantic, and biromantic and panromantic, and aromantic, which means attraction towards no gender, and I'm sure the rest of them you pretty much understand. Another silly myth is that asexuals can't or don't have sex. I mean, if they have the organs down there, they physically can. Asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction, not the lack of sexual ability. That's kind of like saying, because I'm a lesbian, I can't have sex with a man. I still have a vagina. A penis could go in it, technically, but I don't want it to. I can, but I don't want to. See how that works? Now, here's a myth that everyone in the LGBT community basically has heard. Asexuality is just a phase, or insert your sexuality there. Yeah, I've heard that about being lesbian. And look at me now, I'm living with a girlfriend. Again! Asexuals have and always will be asexual. They can have a naked person standing in front of them, trying to touch them and turn them on, and they just don't get excited sexually. They are not attracted. It's just how it is. It's not a phase, it's how their brains work. Here's a more science-y type myth. Being asexual means you're just missing some sort of hormone. It's a hormone problem. Most asexuals have hormones within the normal range. According to some research, asexuals who have taken more hormone supplements to fix their asexuality have reported no change. People hear asexual and they think of, plants that are asexual and stuff like that, sciencey type things. And like, oh, well, that's not what asexual means. Yeah, and gay only means happy, and straight only means not curved. Words in the English language, believe it or not, have many different meanings and change over time. Get over it. Now, here's a really stupid one. Getting laid will fix it. Yeah, just like if I slept with a guy, I'd suddenly be straight. Guess what? I've slept with guys, and I slept with them for many years, and I still came out as being gay. So, yeah, you can't fix me with your dick. Just like an asexual cannot be fixed by getting laid. And the term getting fixed does not really apply because they're not really broken. They're just, asexual. For asexuals, sex is not some super awesome, crazy, magnificent, mind-blowing milestone in their life. It's just like, well, that was, yeah. Well, you can't know for sure unless you've had sex. Most people, when they enter puberty, start feeling sexual attractions towards people without ever engaging in any sexual activity. You do not hold tryouts to see what team you're playing for. You just know, dang, that boy is cute. Look at that girl's boobs. Or, they're just people, I really don't even care. That's asexual. They're just like, they have bodies, yay. Asexuals can't or don't masturbate. Wrong. Asexuals can, and a lot of them actually do. They have no genital function problems. Everything works down there. Since all the parts work, that means it feels good when the parts are used. And asexuals who masturbate normally do so to either A, relieve tension, or B, to feel the pleasure of an orgasm. But do remember that masturbation is a choice, and many asexuals do, but many asexuals also don't. All asexuals are virgins. No! There's no virginity requirement for being asexual, or bisexual, or heterosexual. Virginity has nothing to do with it. Some asexuals are parents. Some have regular sex partners. Just because they aren't sexually attracted to other people doesn't mean that they aren't in love and they want to do it for their partner, or doesn't mean that they don't want children. They can have sex if they want to. It's your body. You can have sex if you want to. You can have sex if you want to. Asexuality is the same thing as being transsexual or transgender. No, asexuality is not a gender issue. Most asexuals are cisgender, and when I make that video, I will attach the link here, but it's not made yet. Some asexuals are transgender. Gender and sex are different, just as gender and sexuality are different, therefore you can be transgender and be asexual. They just haven't met the right person yet. That offends most asexuals. Do not say it to them. Just because you haven't met the right person doesn't mean you do not know who you're attracted to. I mean, I know I'm gay. If I was single right now, it doesn't mean I'd be asexual. They have seen thousands upon thousands of different people walking around in their lifetime, and they've just not found themselves sexually attracted to anyone, and that just makes them asexual, and that's just how it is. It'd be like going up to a heterosexual and saying, hey, you could be gay, you know, you just haven't met the right man yet. Keep looking, you'll find him. You could be gay. Everyone feels like that sometimes. And sure, everyone feels a little asexual sometimes, meaning that they don't feel sexually attracted to anyone because they're not in the mood. But asexuals feel like that all the time. And that's the difference. Asexuals are just afraid of sex, disgusted or terrified of it. Some asexuals are afraid or terrified or disgusted of it, but so are some non-asexuals. Those type of feelings are not tied to your sexual orientation. It's tied to your feelings towards sex itself. Asexual people are a victim of some sort of sexual trauma, which has made them become asexual. No, that is not the case. Sure, they could have been a victim of some sexual trauma, but that will not make them asexual. I'm a victim of sexual trauma. Here are some links to my rape awareness videos. It did not make me asexual. It did not make me gay. It is not linked in any way, shape, or form. Being traumatized happens to many, many people, and it does not change their sexuality. There's a pill that can fix that. Okay, no, there's pills that can fix physical ailments such as hormone imbalances, depression, physical pain, blood flow problems, but it cannot make you just become attracted to someone. You cannot take a pill and, oh my god, I feel sexually attracted to someone now. I want to have sex with them. It'd be like saying you give me a pill and all of a sudden I want someone's dick. It wouldn't happen. Asexuals don't and can't have an orgasm. Incorrect. Just like I said before, all the parts work, therefore they can orgasm. Asexuals are just super religious against sex. Sexuality has nothing to do with someone's religion. I believe in God, yet I'm a lesbian, and a lot of crazy religious people say, oh, you're gonna go burn in hell. Rah! But you know what? I believe in God, and I believe my God loves and accepts me just how I am. Asexuality has nothing to do with being strongly against sex. It is not a religion, it's a sexuality. It is not a form of abstinence, it is not a purity pledge, it's not saving yourself for marriage. No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means you don't want to have sex. Asexuals hate sex and anyone who has it. Do not confuse asexuals with anti-sexuality. Most asexuals have no problem with sex, and it doesn't bother them for the most part, just some don't like the idea of it when it comes to themselves having sex. They're typically indifferent to other people's sex lives. It's a sexuality for themselves, it's not some opinion on someone else's sexual activity. Asexuals can even like having sex because it feels good. Asexuals are just naive, they don't know anything about sex. They had sex ed class. They've probably done some sexual exploration of their own. They're not naive. They just know what they want and what they don't want. Asexuals hate their gender. Sexuality and gender, not the same thing. Here is a link about how gender and sex is different. There are male asexuals, female asexuals, and trans asexuals. It has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with your sexuality. Asexuality is not a moral stand against sex. Asexuals are not evolution's way to stop overpopulating. These are just other dumb myths that really just are explanatory. I hope this was helpful, and I hope this cleared some things up for you. Asexuals don't have a brain tumor. Asexual blah 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 blah. It's a sexuality, guys. Accept it, deal with it, get over it, and don't let it affect your life if you're not asexual. Here's a link to my playlist of other sexual orientations and genders. Check it out. Like the videos, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and be awesome every single day. Thanks for watching. That's all I think for now. Keep thinking, guys. Bye. Also, feel free to follow me on my many other forms of social media.